Welcome to video 31 on Fun with Arduino. We are going to drive or control a stepper motor in this video. Stepper motors can be had in different types, and the type that we are going to use in this video is a toy motor actually, with a 4-input driver. It's this motor, and it can be had for less than $2 at AliExpress. The driver has 5 volt and ground connected, and it has 4 inputs that require a high or a low in a certain sequence to drive the motor. And that sequence is what we're going to create with the Arduino. And of course we can also give that sequence a millisecond clock so that we can run the motor at a particular speed. Why would we use or should we use a stepper motor instead of a servo motor? Well, there are applications where a stepper motor is nicer for maybe 2 reasons. A servo motor usually has an angle between 0 and 180 degrees or 0 and 90 degrees. A stepper motor can drive continuously, so you could drive a windmill with it or anything that has to rotate continuously, and then still we can control the speed very fine, because most stepper motors also have an internal gearbox, so a slow rotation is very well possible. Another application is that the stepper motor can be used for very accurately positioning something, because we can run it a certain amount of steps and then stop it again. And this particular motor that we see here, this toy motor, has 2048 steps per revolution, which makes that we can very accurately position the outward axle. Don't expect any high torque, high power of this motor. It's just a toy. It's very low power, so you can only drive applications with it that have virtually no friction. Okay, let's have a look at the software. This is the software in Notepad++. We start with a couple of definitions. First, we have the 4 pins to which we connect the 4 inputs of the driver of this motor. Then I have an on-off switch, and I also use an LED as an indicator that the motor is running or not. And then I define the number of steps for this particular motor. This one has 2048 steps per revolution, but maybe I would in future like to control different motors, so I give it a define here so I can easily change this number. This particular motor should not run faster than 12 RPM, so that's the speed that I define here. It can run slower, but it cannot run much faster, because then we start to lose steps, and that's not what you want with accurate positioning, of course. Then we have a couple of declarations over here, and then we have the program, which consists of 4 parts: the well-known setup and loop. What are we doing in setup? Well, of course we declare here our output pins, or create our output pins, and the input for the switch. And we calculate the step interval in microseconds, which depends of course on the number of steps per revolution and on the speed. This step interval is then used in the loop to give the motor its speed. In the loop, it's a very short loop. There's a while construction. While the on-off switch is on, we check if it is time, and we use there the step interval that we just calculated in the setup. If it is time, we do 1 step. And this is a function. This do 1 step is a function that we have specified over here, and we will open it up in a second. There's one other function that we use. If my on-off switch is off, then I stop with the stepping, obviously, and I want to put the motor to idle, which means that all the coils are switched off to avoid burning it up because a current stays running in one coil. So let's have a look at this function motor idle as the first one. That's very easy. I just make all the driver pins low, and also of course my LED, my indicator LED that the motor was running, is made low. Why did I not simply write this code over here? Well, it's just one of the possible uses for a function. A function is a cluster of code that we gave a name, and I gave this cluster of code the name motor idle, and now I can use that name motor idle here in my loop. And the plus of that is that my loop is very much readable and the work is done inside of the functions. There's another, maybe more useful use of functions. That is, if you have a cluster of code that you need at multiple instances somewhere in a loop. Yeah, this is a very short loop, but you can have code that has a couple of hundred of lines, and then you may need to put the motor to idle at different positions in your loop. Then you have to write that code only once, and then you call it by its name. The same we do here with this function do one step. It is a function that is written over here. My loop stays very much readable and the work is done over here. What do we need to do one step? Well, I put my indicator LED on, I increase the step number and then do a modulo 4 operation on it, because I have only 4 steps. But this is to remember the number of the step where I am, which is not important when I run at a certain speed, but which becomes important when I want to run an exact number of pulses, which is the next video that we are going to look at. And then we have all these steps that we need to take. We have 4 inputs, and as we see here, only one input needs to be high. So the step 1, the output or input of the driver 1 is high, and then input 2 is high, then input 3 is high, and then input 4 is high. And if I run through these steps with a certain interval time, which translates to a certain speed, then the motor will run. Well, enough talking, let's have a look at this motor running. Let me close this function again so we can see the complete code, how simple it actually is. I'm going to download it or upload it to the Arduino and run. Okay, so here we have our stepper motor connected to this driver. The 4 inputs of the driver are connected to A1 to A4 on the Arduino. This is the on-off switch and this is the indicator LED. The speed is 12 RPM, which means one revolution should take 5 seconds. Well, we can count. Yeah, that is exactly 5 seconds, so that seems to be quite okay. And isn't that a nice steady low speed? We can make it lower, but well, this was a very simple code actually. We can make it a little bit more interesting by adding a direction switch. So I'm going to use this second switch now as my direction. And we can use this potentiometer over here to control the speed. Let's do that.